My name is Ben and I'm a physical therapist here at Total Physical Therapy in Amarillo. And today we're going to talk about the topic of progression. Now the other day I had a client come up to me and say, well, she's been doing her exercises for a long period of time now, but hasn't really noticed much of a change lately. Initially she had some changes, and then as she's gone on it hasn't really changed that much. And I feel like a lot of us can relate in some way, whether you've had physical therapy before or you've gone and tried working out before. You start your exercises, you see lots of gains early on, and then things start kind of petering out and kind of plateau. Well, why is this the case? Well, let's go find out. So if we want to have a good idea of what's going on, we can kind of take a picture of this visually by imagining a graph. And so if we were to picture a graph where this left side is taking a look at our capacity, to do some sort of thing, whether it be walking better or taking in the groceries. And then this bottom part is time. So as we move further to the right, we are increasing length of time. We can imagine arbitrarily, if I don't work out at all, I could probably walk about that well. I have this much balance, or I'm able to do something somewhat. I have this much capacity to do it. And then if I add in exercises, or I start to making myself stronger, what's going to happen is my ability to do that's going to get better. And it's going to get better up to a certain point. So say I do a certain amount of exercise, or I have a list of exercises that I'm doing, I'm going to get better to a certain point. Now, if I continue those same exercises, my body is going to get used to that stress. The point of exercise is to stress the body adapts, it gets better and improves. But if I'm doing the same exercises over and over again, the body is no longer being stressed. And so what ends up happening is I get a certain amount of capacity and then I plateau. It no longer gets stressed, and so I'm now stuck at this new level of capacity. But if I want to be able to do something better, then I have to progress. And so there are a couple different variables that we can include or change in order to progress and make ourselves have more capacity. And so in the therapy world, or in the personal training world, or the fitness world, we call this the FIT principle. And so each of these letters, this is an acronym for these variables that we want to talk about. The first one is frequency. And the example of frequency would be how many times a week we're doing an exercise. Are we doing this once a week? Are we doing this once every day? If we increase the frequency, that will increase the amount of stress that's placed on our body. The second one is intensity. Intensity, for most people, what they think about is how heavy something is. So if I'm picking up a weight, I can increase the intensity by increasing the weight. Or for a runner, it's how fast I'm running. So if I'm running easy, or I may increase my intensity by running a little bit harder. And so if I increase that, that's going to increase stress on the body. Then we have the first T, which stands for time. And so if I increase the length of time I'm doing something, that is going to increase the amount of stress on my body. And then the last T is type. And so this can be a certain type of exercise. So for example, if I want to work on my quads, I can do a leg extension by kicking my legs out. Or I can change the type of exercise by moving it to a squat. And if I do that, sometimes that can improve my certain capacity with whatever one I'm looking to do. And so if I take any one of these variables and I introduce it to my new workout, basically what's going to happen, instead of staying plateaued, I am now going to come up and improve my capacity a little bit. Okay? And like it did before, it'll increase for a little bit until your body gets adjusted to that new stress, and then it will start plateauing. Okay? And if I want to get through that plateau, again, I have to change one of these, and then there again it will come up and continue to improve over time. So if I get to a point of my capacity to do something, whether it be balance or walking better, I change one of these and it will boost up. And if I change it again, it will boost up. And so, progression is all about taking these variables and being able to insert it and change it in your programming, and allowing your body to adapt to it over time. If you do change these variables, your body has to adjust to that stress. So as we just talked about, there are a couple of different variables that we can change in order to help us progress and move forward and move better during our daily lives. Now the big question is, how do we change them? How much do we change them by? And when do we change them? Well, those are more individual questions. Those are things that that's going to have to be answered on an individual basis. And so if you have difficulties figuring out which one's to best change for you, give us a call and let us take a look at either your programming or what you're doing throughout the day. And we can try to make recommendations on how we want to change those to help you to continue to progress and to move forward. I hope you guys learned a lot today, and you guys have a good day.